You know, I think it is safe to say that we've been hacked, but not by the Russians, by hypocrisy, by those who said elections have consequences, but only when they win, that Russia mattered in this election, even though it was an afterthought in the last election. Back then, remember the 80s were calling for their foreign policy back? Now Russia's actions apparently warrant calling electors back. So Donald Trump saying the election is rigged is a joke if he loses, but it's serious stuff for Democrats if he wins. That it was all about Barack Obama's legacy before the election, then everything but Barack Obama's legacy after the election. Suddenly, it wasn't his health care law that made voters sick, but Vladimir Putin or James Comey or vote rigging that cast a pall on all of their ballots. Suddenly, the popular vote mattered, except in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, where it didn't matter. Suddenly, the electoral votes become a vestige of history, even though this president said nothing bad at all about it when he was making history. Back then, of course, it was his legacy. Today, more like a travesty. Back then, Americans were wise. Today, well, closer to idiots. Elections have consequences for those who like the consequences, but not at all for those who do not. Just like Russia matters after it didn't, and costly recounts matter when they don't. If this yapping about hacking is so important to this president, how is it the only thing he said on the matter was, cut it out, to the Russian president? If that's a response to a crisis, what counts as a non-response to a crisis? I can remember a time when candidate Obama lectured a president over mixed messages. And now this message? I can remember a time candidate Obama bemoaned President George Bush yielding more and more power and refusing to work through Congress. A far cry from a President Barack Obama virtually ignoring Congress. I can remember a time when Harry Reid was singing James Comey's praises when he seemed to be helping Hillary Clinton. And now he's damning Comey's legacy, convinced he was only hurting Hillary Clinton. I can remember a time when no one was asking Hillary Clinton if she would honor election results, only her opponent assuming, of course, that he would not. I can remember keeping my doctor until I couldn't. Big red lines in Syria that mattered until they didn't. An economic recovery that was robust until it wasn't. When American voters didn't show any signs of doubting that recovery until they did. They say the truth is something that is very hard, sometimes the toughest thing to take. They're wrong. What's worse is ignoring the truth, because it's the saddest thing to see. Now, I'm sure liberals will see this only as a pivot. Me, it's enough to make me want to vomit.